on, Foxy. It's your birthday. Not for real, just for play. This is Cree Summer, and Moana Nui will be right back.
Good evening and welcome to our September edition of Moana Nui After Dark presents Whatcha Watchin. We will be covering Deadpool and Wolverine this evening. I'm going to bring in the rest of our panel. How is every? Oh, wait. Let me see if everyone can get a good look at the shirt.
Oh, that's nice, Joy. I like that one.
So how are we all doing? I know that we all went to the wondrous event known as Dragon Con here in Atlanta. How are we all holding up?
No con crud.
Surprisingly well. My knees still feel good. I haven't had any aches and pains. I showed up to work. It's great.
Yep.
So 3 out of 4.
I mean, I've got a little bit of soreness because of all the additional walking that was done. But other than that, I'm good. But the thing I am most happy about, knock on wood, no con crud.
Yes. No con crud. No con crud.
Well, my fever's only 100, so I guess that's a good thing.
Okay, yeah. It's not hospital level yet, so
right.
Fingers crossed.
Fluids monitor.
Back down to normal ASAP. Crossing everything.
Right. Cross my eyes, everything.
So one of our panelists is going to be joining us later. Another one decided to bombard us with information about. Well, he just decided to bombard us with information.
Because he wants us to care as much about DC as we do about Marvel, and we might need an intervention about we need to pull Kyle into a room and be like,
grown ass man. I ain't saving him. That is a grown ass man.
You don't want to be saved,
right?
Lackluster movies. Those
we be in there talking about the Flash, and we just be looking at him like, "Are you okay? Blink twice, Kyle."
Most
putting you up to this.
90% of those movies should be straight to DVD/streaming.
80% of those should be straight to the trash.
Exactly. Thrown out with the bathwater.
Right. So if he wants to play superhero for those movies, let him.
Hey, we ain't gonna let him Nick Cage Superman.
I'm not pulling him out of the sunken place. I'm leaving him.
He willingly went to the dark side.
Right. All of us were together when we heard the random noise. We went away from the noise. He went towards the noise.
Right.
He went into the light.
Nope.
Except they have no light.
He walking around like Lakeith Stanfield and Get Out like, well, I think the movies are great. Having a wonderful time over here. DC universe.
Oh gosh, Kyle, we do this because we care.
Oh, I hope he sees this soon.
Once again, Deadpool and Wolverine is the main topic of tonight's discussion. This is your first, last, and only warning. I mean, the movie's been out for over a month, so watching beyond this point, and you haven't seen anything, I don't feel sorry for you going forward. May the odds be ever not in your favor. Let's start at the beginning because I keep the opening number of NSYNC's Bye 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 is stuck in my head. I don't know about anybody else, but like every other day, I just find myself, if I'm in a line, just bopping to Bye Bye Bye. Anybody else or just me?
I was just walking down the hall. Bye bye bye. I never even really learned that choreography, but I still see Deadpool, dun, 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 And I love the fact that they pulled that back from the last movie.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a nice
callback.
Full circle Easter egg.
Yeah.
Now,
if we're going to talk about the beginning, I legit thought when they went into the casket, they were actually going to pull Hugh Jackman out of the casket because, Wolverine always regenerates some kind of way.
Yeah. Or I thought that he was going to get like a little Deadpool blood on him and regenerate while he was fighting, just slowly coming back. But no. They're like, no, he dead.
And I'm kind of glad that they didn't, because I really liked the way that they ended Logan and just kind of let him have that finality. Is that the right word? Finality?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Very much so. I guess my disappointment also stems from this weekend. There were so many Deadpools and there was no meetup to do that choreography.
We're getting feedback.
There was a photo.
Uh-oh,
Is it me?
Let me mute and see if it's not me. Hold on. Where's my mute?
Everybody say something.
Something. Okay.
No. Something.
Because
if it's me, the only thing I can do is leave.
I don't still hear it. 1, 2, 3. Nope, still there.
There it is.
No, I think it's just mute while you're not talking, and we can all do that. So, yeah.
But yeah, the Deadpools at Dragon Con could have got together and did the choreography, and they chose not to. Failure.
But they did it. There was a Deadpool photo shoot, and they did pull it out at the photo shoot.
At the photo shoot. Okay, cool.
Oh, I missed that.
I should have known. Should have known. So Furies, you mentioned the way that they left it at the end of Logan, left that Wolverine dead. The universe hopping aspect of him jumping from universe to universe to find a Wolverine to help, and basically hitting some of the most iconic, basically not even storylines, just iconic Marvel covers, and interacting with those various Wolverines. Henry Cavill even showing up as a Wolverine was like a surprise, because we knew Henry Cavill had been signed by Marvel Studios a few years back, role yet to be determined, but I'm pretty sure this cameo was not it. But just to see him show up in a Marvel film at this point was pretty awesome.
Well, one of the rumors was that he was going to be Captain Britain, and that may still turn out to be true. I don't know. But one of the things that I like that they did, and it kind of started with, I can't think of the name of the second Doctor Strange movie, but how
Multiverse of Madness.
Thank you. How Scarlet Witch is a Nexus being, and there's one of her in every single universe. In this film, they're calling Wolverine an anchor being, and there's one of him in every single universe. And it just kind of has me wondering what they're going to do with that going forward, because it's a really interesting idea to think that certain universes don't have everybody and certain universes have everybody, which I think could be an interesting concept going forward.
I agree. I also think, first of all, you can't tease me with Henry Cavill in a white beater and be like, nah, that we was just playing. I need him to be Wolverine going forward, because I love Hugh Jackman. I ride for Hugh Jackman. I would ride Hugh Jackman, but he's getting older. And I know he don't want to do this no more. Henry Cavill, he's done with The Witcher or whatever else he was doing, and he's available. And I would very much like to see him naked. And so let's go ahead and make that happen. You already got it out there. And what I like about this the irreverence of this whole movie is Marvel don't never have to retcon anything else ever. They can just be like, see Deadpool 3, and it's in there somewhere. And even if it's not, you could just be like, oh, we pulled it out of our ass in that movie somewhere, and everybody is now potentially available,
Not just Deadpool 3, but what if every time something gets screwed up, it gets corrected in the next Deadpool movie? Because I love
always the cleanup.
He could be clean he could be cleanup every time they screw something up. They go get the Deadpool team together, and they're like, all right, My bad, y'all. My bad. I screwed this up.
Oh my gosh.
And just let the Deadpool movie be that. Because we already have it where Avengers movies are almost the bookmarks for every phase of the Marvel Universe. Deadpool is cleanup when they screw stuff up.
Between Deadpool and Loki, yeah. And then you got the multiverse of madness. Why even bother trying to keep the time stream clean? Just today we're doing this.
I mean, look, they don't already play fast and loose with the timeline when, even before Endgame, as far as just saying things that contradicted things like that already happened. And it's not like stuff that happened off screen. They literally said things in later films that contradicted things they actually showed on camera. So timeline, schmimline, it's like Doctor Who. It's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
They set us up with what was it? They set us up with the supreme being or whatever it was, the little bald-headed woman, when she told the Hulk, you can't just be bopping around these timelines.
Oh, Ancient One, yes.
The Ancient One, because she's like, because you're gonna mess this up when you do that. And he was like, yeah, whatever, woman, bye. And then they did it anyway. And they've been messing up ever since, But the only thing like about cleaning up with Deadpool is, didn't he kind of kill all the other Deadpools? Most of them are dead now.
Well, no, he killed the ones that got sent to the void.
Isn't it wild how most of the Deadpools got sent to the void? It's a lot of them in there.
It's a lot of them in the void, yes.
Well, but it's just like all the Lokis ended up in
the void as well.
The void.
Wait, is that the same void?
Yes. With the smoke monster.
That's right, yeah, because they had the smoke monster. Yeah.
Annihilith, what was it?
Smoke monster.
Yeah, smoke monster.
Exactly. I think that just shows that Deadpools are just largely pains in the ass.
In every universe, Deadpool is a pain in the ass.
Even if it's a kid, it's a pain in the ass.
Right?
What about instead of in addition to Deadpool and Wolverine, what about Loki and Deadpool team ups from time to time?
Yeah,
they're all in the void.
There would be too much dialogue for me to keep up with.
Well, how many Lokis survived at the end of season 1? Because he kind of murked a handful of them too, and trying to, work his way
to the end. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then only to have the TVA reset itself for he who remains.
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't even see the Loki variants in season 2. Hell, we don't even mention them in season 2. It's like they never existed.
They didn't. They never existed.
So, variants are still out there in other worlds, but how many are still left in the void? So, you mentioned Deadpool being clean up. The first thing I thought of when you said that, if you remember the original X-Men series, Beyond, what was it? Something Beyond Time was the name of the 2-part episode towards the end, where Apocalypse was kicked out of time at the end of the storyline. They showed a janitor or custodian literally sweeping the time stream.
Mm-hmm.
That's the image that popped in my head.
And
some kind of way we get that. Some kind of way we end up with janitor Deadpool sweeping up the time.
Literally sweeping up the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So of course Deadpool gets into his usual kerfluffle hijinks. I do like before we get to the opening number, him in 616, which is the mainline MCU, talking to Happy, Jon Favreau's character from Iron Man, in an interview trying to join the Avengers. Easily one of the funniest conversations because they're not on the same page in this interview. He's expecting to speak to Tony Stark eventually during this process, and Happy's just like, I got to get this guy out of this office as soon as possible. Anybody have any thoughts on that one?
Well, it's like Teresa just said, he's a pain in the ass in every universe. And how did you get in this office in the first place? Like, why are you here? And why are you still here? Like, stop
Right.
answering questions. And then like the idea that you're gonna jump right into the being an Avenger, no training, no like onboarding, no what do you call it, probationary period. Like, you trying to get on a jet, bruh, back up.
This is first
But
job.
also happy thinking that he is more than just a businessman. Like, bruh, you're not really an Avenger either. You are a pencil pusher. Yeah.
I mean, even and it's funny that he mentioned that. What did he say? He doesn't do these anymore. Was that their allusion to Stark being dead? Instead of outright saying it.
Yeah.
Because it didn't say he's not coming. He just said he doesn't do these anymore. Or something to that effect.
That's true.
So, all right. So let's get forward. Cameos. We got Elektra, who came back. We had
Yes, ma'am.
Gambit finally played by Channing Tatum due to scheduling conflicts and stupidity at Fox Studios, and Wesley Snipes as the only Blade, because there will never be another Blade because he's the only Blade in existence.
Wait, hold on a second. Was Channing Tatum supposed to have been Gambit at some previous point?
Yes.
That movie got greenlit but never got made.
So in X-Men Origins Wolverine, Gambit does appear in that film. That's supposed to be Channing Tatum.
What? I never knew that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Channing Tatum in that role, but he had a scheduling conflict because if I recall correctly, he was filming one of the Magic Mike films.
Okay.
At the same time they were in production.
And
so
which is infinitely more important.
Mm-hmm. So, and that person who played Gambit was horrible. I'm sorry. that dude was trash. I hope he never steps foot near another superhero film for the rest of his acting career. Mm-hmm. He can have other roles. He just shouldn't do superhero stuff because he was horrible.
Then I must be in the minority because I thought Channing Tatum was horrible as Gambit.
He was also horrible.
He was,
but it was horrible in like a great way. Like
right.
I'm not mad at the horribleness.
Right.
I wasn't certain if his being horrible was accidental or intentional. I don't know.
It's the beauty of it.
Let's go with both.
Right.
Like, how quickly did he become a whole like meme? Like, ooh, about the nigga name for my dog. Like, that's the worst Cajun accent ever, and I can't stop hearing it. And it's saying it. I've said it to myself a couple times. Yeah. Oh, wait, this is going to be gross and it's going to be TMI, and I'm sorry in advance for what I'm about to say.
It is after dark.
I apologize. I was in the bathroom by myself and I was having some issues, and then I was like, "Ooh, I'm about to make a name."
Oh my god!
Okay, it's so useful. It works everywhere all the time. But I also like that Deadpool was like, I cannot understand you. I don't know what the hell you're saying, because you couldn't. And you can understand the real, like the cartoon voice of Gambit. You could not understand what Channing Tatum was saying. Nope. And it had to be a choice because you can always yell cut and re-record that. So they had to be doing it on purpose.
Maybe the first time it was just so bad, they just told him to lean into it.
Very much so. He definitely leaned into it with his full chest. But yeah, the solo film was supposed to be done after the Wolverine picture, but again, scheduling conflict because he was filming another film. So he finally, and I like that all of his lines, literally all of his dialogue, was an allusion to how he was supposed to have his own movie at some point. I don't know if I was even born. I was just here and stuff happened.
Mm-hmm.
Elektra's diss at Daredevil being dead because of it being played she's from the world universe in which Ben Affleck was playing Daredevil, and of course their real life relationship fizzling out, just like it happens. Hey, next right? like when am I gonna get this tuna sandwich?
Right, just go whatever, that happens anyway. Moving on. Yeah.
The other cameo that threw me off was Chris Evans showing up, not as Captain America, but as Johnny Storm. You talk about a swerve, how everybody lost their mind in the movie theater. Like, Captain America, oh my gosh, it's a Captain America variant. And you're Deadpool expecting to say Avengers
Flame
Assemble, and he
on.
says Flame on.
Right.
That was awesome.
Wait, what the shit?
Yeah,
Everybody screamed like, "What?" Yeah, it
that
was
was one of the
great.
best parts of that movie for me. Because I'm sitting there going, I was like, he's not gonna be Cap. He's not gonna be yes. But Johnny Storm is one of my favorite characters, so I was really happy. That's real funny to me. I don't care about the Fantastic Four except Johnny Storm.
Even in that movie when he played Johnny Storm, he was the only reason I watched the movie. He was like, "Look." It was like the best part of that movie.
Now imagine this. What everywhere.
Because for me, the things that he did in that movie, I'm like, if any of us, excuse me, had his powers, we'd have done the exact same thing. Like that
I've been
one
making grilled cheese sandwiches.
Like that one thing where he's with that one lady and he makes the hot tub in the ice and in the snow. Tell me we wouldn't have done that with somebody we wanted to be in the hot tub with.
Hell yeah. I would abuse my powers like in a juvenile way all the time.
Right?
And this is why we don't have powers.
Exactly.
Because we know we would abuse them. At least we're honest with ourselves to know that we would definitely abuse these powers.
If I could fly, I would fly to the other side of the room. just because.
It's 10 steps.
Or one hop.
She's got a point.
Oh God.
She's got a point.
Oh gosh. Standout moments up until this point for anyone that we have not mentioned.
I think a standout moment was when X-23 shows up. And the moment when evil girl Charles gets into Wolverine's mind and sees how tormented that he is, and it fucked up for a second. Like,
like the memes with the demon possessed the body. No, I want out. You stuck here.
No, you in here now. Get comfortable.
One of the ones that I really liked was a standout moment for me was how the TVA manipulated Deadpool into doing, essentially starting to do what they wanted him to do. Like that one scene where the Hulk cameo. Oh, that one was
nice.
Nice, yeah.
Yes, it was.
But do you guys remember that one scene where Thor is cradling Deadpool?
Oh yes.
And they keep. Have you yet heard the whole backstory on all of that?
No.
So Chris Hemsworth is not actually in the movie.
No, that's from the Dark World where he's cradling Loki at the end.
From Thor: The Dark World.
Right.
But what they did was they actually filmed it, but it's a stuntman wearing a motion capture suit cradling Deadpool. And when they put Thor into the movie, he's wearing the right costume, but his face has the scar over his eye from when he lost that one eye. If you get next time you see that scene, just like I said, right costume, wrong face.
So they combined
Ragnarok
Ragnarok, with the event from Dark World. Nice.
Just as a ploy to throw people off. And then later, Chris Hemsworth retweeted something that Ryan Reynolds retweeted and said, "I can keep secrets too." All centered around that one short little clip, which to me, that was really standout because I'm sitting there going, how in the hell do they get Thor and Deadpool on the same team together doing anything?
Right.
And then I started hearing the stuff about how many layers of trickery went into that scene. And I was like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Teresa?
I'm thinking.
Okay. I'll say for me, a good standout moment was when Deadpool, Wolverine, and Human Torch were all surrounded by literally every single extra mutant from every single Fox movie And the fact that they literally got almost every single person back to play those respective roles. I think the only two they couldn't get was whoever played Azazel was different, and whoever was playing Juggernaut was different because that wasn't Vinnie Jones. Vinnie Jones had come out and said that he did not want to sit in the chair for all that makeup and prosthetics to go on his body. He said it was too much. He wasn't coming back for it. But everybody else, Ray Park was back as Toad. That was the original Pyro from the X-Men films. That is Sabretooth from the first X-Men film. That is same guy.
They did Sabretooth dirty.
Lady Deathstrike from the second X-Men film. That is the same actress.
I want to be in a position to say no to a Marvel check just because I don't feel like sitting for makeup.
Right?
Oh my God, you couldn't tell if that was supposed to be the Psylocke or the Russian. That was, so there was a character wearing a red and white striped shirt. That was the Russian from the Punisher movie with Thomas Jane. Unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but no, that was not Kevin Nash, because Kevin Nash played the Russian in that film. And that obviously was not Kevin Nash. It didn't even look close to Kevin Nash. So basically, he's a Russian variant. And yeah, I couldn't tell if it was Psylocke in that group as well either. I saw some flashes going off. It could have been Psylocke. It could have been someone else.
We're going to say it was.
You know, there's so many mutants who have appeared on screen that really didn't even get names in some of the Fox movies. So it's just like literally cast as mutant or background with powers.
Can we just roll back to say that Blade was looking real good, like to be in his 60s.
Yes.
Yep.
He is holding it down. Like he could, and he's actually a natural martial artist too. Yes. He could come back if he wanted to. I don't know how that would work, and maybe don't do all the stunts, and we don't really need it. But I was glad to see like all of the films of reactions of other people seeing Blade come back. And it wasn't, of all of cameos, he always got the loudest roar, which I think is a nice homage to what he had done to reinvigorate Marvel and superhero movies as a genre back at the beginning of all of this, way before Iron Man, Right. Shout out to Blade and Wesley Snipes.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And a little Easter egg where Deadpool's like, "You've always hated me." He's like, "Yeah."
Yeah. And to me, one of the things that made that so much of a moment was Blade wasn't the first Marvel movie, but it was the Marvel movie to set everything in motion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I love that because it wasn't the first, but it was like, oh, this is gonna be the best one.
Mm-hmm. It hit at the right time where special effects and interest in comic book adaptations gelled to make it something that was palatable for people that had never even followed it. If you had never heard of Blade, that was still a good ass movie. She didn't change her name to, I'm about to make a name for myself. Blade is the Godfather. Had the movie been a dud, Fox never would have gambled on the X-Men movie. They're very true.
True.
Yeah.
It's why Fox pretty much went after the X-Men and Fantastic Four. Why Sony made a quick move to scoop up Spider-Man, those IP. So, you mentioned the whole thing about Deadpool saying this guy's always hated me, because that plays back to the third Blade film, which Ryan Reynolds appears in, and rumors off the set. Well, first of all, if you listen to any of the actors in the third Blade film talk about what it was like on set, from Ryan Reynolds to Patton Oswalt, always talk about Wesley Snipes was never Wesley Snipes. He was always Blade. He stayed in character for the entire film, rehearsal, makeup, whatever, in between takes. He was
the minute the teeth went in. Yeah.
Right. He was in character the whole time. So that's where that comes from, as far as him not liking Ryan Reynolds, because that was one of the rumors that came out, but neither one of them ever really admitted to any truthfulness behind it or not. They just let it sit out there all this time that Wesley Snipes didn't like Ryan Reynolds, because it played well in the film, because Blade's character doesn't like Ryan Reynolds' character. It's like, the hell is this? It's supposed to be funny? Like, is this a joke? Is this a game to you?
Although there was a recent interview that Wesley did where he finally did come out and say, no, I love that guy. It's just we've been keeping this going for 20 years.
Because it's fun to keep it going, because we know you know the personalities of two actors like that who really like put themselves out there and make themselves vulnerable to emotion of the audience and become very engaging, very open about a lot of things. But to keep that going this long was really a nice turn.
Well, it's just like Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, because there's all this off-screen, quote unquote, animosity between the two of them.
Right.
But again, they're the best of friends.
Yes.
And if I'm remembering how I read it correctly, I think Deadpool 2 is what made Hugh Jackman want to come back and do the buddy cop movie with him. If I'm remembering how that those steps correctly, he was the one who reached out to Ryan and was like, yeah, we got to do this.
I will do this for you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He even got because you know I'm a K-pop fan. Ryan Reynolds even got Hugh Jackman to be in a video for a band that Ryan stands, Stray Kids. Ryan is a Stray Kids fan, and they did a video called Chick Chick Boom. That's the name of the song, and they are both cameos in the beginning of the video. And then the video is over, and they're doing an interview with a couple of guys from the band. And Ryan is like, "Fun fact: Marvel has no idea we did that." And the guy in the band is like, "What? Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, they have no idea. Both of us are in the video at all." And so, yeah,
because Ryan is good for doing stuff like that.
Ryan just decided he wanted to do it, and he's like, "Hey, Hugh, come with it." They got once I watched that video and I was searching like Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, K-pop, and they did a whole tour of just messing around in Korea because they were already there, and they were out there eating spicy ramen, doing all kinds. They did the hot wings together. They just out there having fun. That was in America, but still, they just out there having fun the whole time.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about highlights. When he finally put that mask on.
Yes.
It wasn't until he did it that I realized how much I hadn't seen that
ever in any previous film, because all the X-Men films, they wore the black leather. In his origin series, he didn't wear any suit whatsoever.
Yeah, he had on jeans and t-shirt most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
The closest we got to any outfit Wolverine actually wore it wasn't Days of Future Past. It was the second film with First Class, the Apocalypse movie, where they actually accidentally show up around the Weapon X site when he's breaking out. So he's got the helmet and the sensory deprivation helmet or whatever, and basically clothes and the claws out as he's breaking out.
Well, and also we do see another suit. He's not wearing it though.
Right, the brown suit at the end of the second film. Yes, it was a teaser. Was that actually in the movie? Or was that like a post-credit scene they decided not to include?
I think it was in the movie because the suit, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was in the briefcase.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
what was her name? Is it Kikyo? The young lady he got on the plane with at the end of the movie.
I
think there was a briefcase because she handed it to him. And he opened it, and you can see the suit.
Right.
I forget what it is he says, but then he closes it, and I'm kind of like, are we ever going to see him in a suit?
They kept teasing it and never got it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we're talking about highlights, and Joy mentions him putting on the cowl, the hood or whatever, how about when that machine blows his shirt off? That was certainly a highlight for me.
Yes, I did appreciate that. Thank you for the visual memory. And once again, he is holding it down because Hugh Jackman is over 50 as well.
Yeah, he's like
your boy been eating his Wheaties.
Like that. Mm-hmm.
And I know because I know from my own journey, it gets harder and harder to try to stay in shape as you get older.
Right.
And that boy still look good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
I buy that for $1.
Especially when he talks about his normal workout routine and his
normal.
Marvel workout routine.
Yeah, none of that is normal. His normal workout routine is not. Well, it's normal if you have 6 to 8 hours a day to do that.
And then they talk about how in order to get that high muscle definition, they have to like dehydrate for a day before they film, then film dehydrated. and do all that extra stuff, and then just to get that ripped look, like it's unhealthy. You know, I don't envy them at all. I appreciate the work that goes into that.
I just want to be nice and toned. I don't need all that. Just a little bit of definition.
Another scene that I appreciated because it was just so unexpected was the after the credit scene where, remember when I thought Deadpool was framing Johnny
Storm
for all the curse words that he was saying, and then at the end because you forget that I forgot Johnny Storm is a New Yorker, right? And came through with all like, yeah, she's the fuck blah, 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 blah. I was like, Chris Evans, language, Captain. It was wild.
Johnny Storm is also the resident asshole of the Fantastic Four.
True.
Like he is the one. He's pretty much primarily the reason they get into a lot of the shit they get into. It's his fault. He never owns up to it. So I am not surprised. I mean, when he said all this stuff, I'm like, I would love to see a scene of him saying this shit. Because one, it's Chris Evans. We haven't seen that.
We've been seeing it in Captain Goody Two Shoes
right
for 20 years now.
We think of him as Captain America, America's ass,
language,
but not America's asshole.
Right.
That part. So yeah, I was definitely thinking that. Then to see it at the end was like, this is great. It just loops everything in the whole film together, like closed loop, no openings whatsoever. Like, yeah, we can speculate on other things, but that's probably like the biggest question getting towards the end of the film is like, I really want to see what he actually said. Like, I want to see a scene. And they were like, oh, here you go. Right on the platter.
And I was so excited to see Chris Evans that it hit me for a second. I was like, he looks younger. And then I just kept rolling with it and not really thinking about it because the color scheme was kind of the same and it wasn't quite Captain's uniform, but I was like, whatever, I'm rocking with it. And I was ready for him to say assemble. And he was like, flame on. I was like, what? The betrayal. That was great.
You've been hoodwinked, led astray, run amok, bamboozled.
Oh, no, sorry.
I got a question for y'all because, her name is not Clarissa. What's her name?
Cassandra
Xavier. If every universe has all these anchors and whatnot, but if some universes have and some don't, I get that. But there's at least a couple more of her out there somewhere.
Yeah. There's some universes where they were both born.
Say what?
I said there's some universes where they're both born.
So she is like an Omega level mutant as well. Because, Charles Xavier could wipe out the universe if he wanted to.
Right.
And he just chooses not to. So what is she? But then again, she has to touch you, right? She doesn't have the.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm just wondering, I expect that we might see her again. She was a good villain for the moment that we had her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To galvanize literally all the villains from previous Fox franchises, or the Fox franchises, that's to say, minus the big bads, but like all the henchmen, and have them as her army was a stroke of genius, and it shows the attention to detail really, because again, this is like Ryan Reynolds and his writing team never miss with the digs, the deep cuts in these Deadpool films. That's what I love most about this is like there's a deep cut in every scene. You just gotta, if you're paying attention, you'll see it. And some things are like right there in your face, and some things are like this little thing in the background you probably just glossed over for 2 seconds. But that team of his and even him, they pay great attention to detail. They're good for, like I said, the Russian was in there from Punisher, but it wasn't Kevin Nash, obviously. But they did the best they could to put him in the proper attire that Kevin Nash wore in that movie to make you realize, oh, this is the Russian. Stuff like that. Just that kudos. I don't know if we get a 4th Deadpool film, but if we do, thank you. Because this movie is already over, like it crossed $1 billion in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is probably like the fastest pace for any MCU film, period, to date. Like other films have had to take like over a month to do so.
So wait, does this technically qualify as an MCU movie?
Yes, this is an MCU film.
then we will definitely get more, because what MCU character has only ever gotten one movie?
Well, technically, this is his third.
Well, no.
It's his first MCU film.
First MCU movie.
True, but it's his third film.
Right, but again, as far as MCU goes, everybody gets at least two, possibly a third. So I'm willing to bet we see more Deadpool.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you got to give the people what they want. Deadpool doesn't never gets old. I mean, it's great and it's always funny.
Yeah,
and it's so irreverent. You can't kind of just do whatever you want. Like, you don't care about canon when you go see a Deadpool movie. That ain't the point.
Mm-mm.
And
you go to it because he's going to screw with the canon.
Mm-hmm. And they could put one out every like mid-phase. Like, we need to fix some things. Deadpool movie time. Mm-hmm.
Look, like you said about Hugh Jackman, Disney's going to make him do this till he's 90. Ryan was probably talking about himself.
Yeah.
Not knowing it.
Yeah. And even if he gets tired, it's not like he really has to be in that costume. He just has to voice it.
Look, it wasn't him in the costume when they're in the opening dance sequence.
Exactly.
Right.
And you'll never know.
Like the Mandalorian.
Right.
True.
I always wonder, like, why they paying him all that money? Because he doesn't. Is it really him? Like, you ain't got to take that off.
Not anymore. I do, James. I care.
You know what? I will say this. And this is probably the first Deadpool movie this is probably the first superhero movie that's done this. The entire time he was in costume as Deadpool, he never took the mask off. In this movie, he never took. In the previous two films, he took the mask off at like the end, like when he was saving Vanessa, or trying to have a heart-to-heart with that kid Harley in the second film to stop him from doing something that was going to, irrevocably ruin the future, which is Cable's present. But in this film, he never took that. Like, once he put it on, it stayed on the whole movie. Even when he ran into Nice Pool, he didn't take his mask off.
Nice Pool had great hair. I like Nice Pool.
Nice Pool had Fabio hair. He
did. And what's funny is Nice Pool is what a lot of people like to think Ryan Reynolds really is in real life, and he's not. He is closer to Deadpool than anything else.
Oh man! So speaking of Nice Pool, all the variants. What do we think about all the variants we saw in this film, from Kid Pool to Baby Pool, Lady Pool?
I love that his whole family was in costume.
Yes, all three of those were his family. Baby Pool.
I didn't know that until after the movie.
Me too.
I remember something that I don't remember who said it, but they were like, there was somebody said, "Hey, do you know who?" What was it? There was some amount of trivia associated around who was the blonde Deadpool variant. I forget exactly what was going on, but I'm sitting there, and when I finally saw her again, I didn't know until after the movie. I'm like, well, I still don't know who she is. Just looking at her, nothing, in my opinion, said that's his wife.
Right.
To me, that's one of those things where you just kind of had to know.
Right. Like, I couldn't pick his wife out of a lineup anyway. But,
right.
Yeah. But I also think it's kind of cool, people like, this is a family. People get upset about, would you let your kids watch this movie? I let my kid cuss me out in a movie.
I mean, I think about all the movies we all have watched when we were little kids that, by today's standards, we shouldn't have been watching.
I watched them anyway. What's your point?
And I'm just like, if I had kids, I'm sure there are lots of movies my kids shouldn't be allowed to watch that me and them would be right there watching.
There's no way I should have watched Purple Rain in the theater.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I think I was 10, maybe 11.
That's about how old I was when I finally found the VHS tape of Eddie Murphy's Raw and watched it one day when I knew my mom was at work.
I saw Eddie Murphy Raw in the theater. No
you
reason
should not have seen that in the theater either.
That's what I'm talking about.
I saw it on HBO as a kid, and I was like, I shouldn't have been watching it.
Mm-mm.
I saw Delirious when I was 8. So yeah.
So
Yeah,
again, would you
irresponsible.
let your kid watch that movie? Yes, I would.
Again, my mom didn't let me watch any of these. I happened to find the tapes when she was at work, and I was home alone with my sister, and I was bored watching nothing midday.
Our parents did not understand how to hide anything.
No.
Put it in the back.
They were too tired to hide stuff.
Right, putting it in the back of the little VHS slidey container, that didn't hide it. We just pulled it all the way
made
out.
you curious. Be like, wait, there's more tapes back here. What's
Right.
back here? Oh, Eddie Murphy. He's funny. Let's watch this.
Mm-hmm.
And just putting it up on a high shelf. Hey, what's that up there? Go get a chair. Start climbing.
Putting it behind the TV. Like I'm not gonna look back here.
The trick was when you was watching the VHS tape that you weren't supposed to be watching, you always had to rewind it back to where it was exactly. So you put it back. That way they wouldn't know you actually watched it.
I made that mistake.
Oh,
that's what crayons were for.
Mm-hmm.
Put a little mark right there.
The funny thing is, the tapes that I found and watched all of them and rewound them all to the beginning, they never confronted me about it because they would have had to admit they had them.
Okay, so let's wrap back around to Deadpool.
Yeah, back to Deadpool. There's a reason I am the way I am. But anyway, Deadpool.
Oh my God. So the resolution, I don't, you know what? I don't think I'm happy with the resolution of Cassandra Nova dying at the end of this film. I use dying loosely, but because they when the two of them held hands and connected the nodes or whatever, and basically, I guess feedback loop is quelled the energy, if you will, to stop her from doing whatever it was she was doing. It like kind of blew back on her, and she poofed into something or nothingness, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I can probably say that's my only nitpicky thing about the film, because she was such a good villain. I would like to see more of her.
I'll say this, considering her origin story, just because she doesn't have a body doesn't mean she's dead.
That is true.
Because
I said,
yeah, because remember, I went and I did some digging once I saw the movie, because I was like, I don't know very much about her. And the way her origin came about was that she created a body for herself inside of her mother's womb. Then after Xavier killed her, after Xavier killed her in the womb, she still grew like as some weird ass cells stuffed in a sewer somewhere. Like, so her entire origin story says she shouldn't exist.
Like Secret of the Ooze, like she's just out here being a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
A super fibroid.
So that's why I'm like, she was.
Why is my drink empty?
So I bring that up just to say that yes, we see her die, but just based on her origin story, I don't think we've seen the last of her. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if her spirit is somewhere looking for a new body or trying to manifest a body. Because think about what happened with Xavier at the end of what X-Men movie is it when Jean kills him?
Third X-Men film.
And then in the post-credit scene, he's in that one body that was in a vegetative state.
Yes.
So we probably haven't seen the end of her.
Yeah, she's somewhere out there.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because again, we saw Jean kill the professor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we'll see her again.
I hope so. I mean,
yeah, no, because she was to date, I think, one of Marvel's best villains.
Yeah,
and in the movies.
I don't think she's one of Marvel's best villains, because I like the villains that have like that kind of Thanos was right kind of thing.
Mhm.
But I do think she was a good evil person. You know, like
Okay, fair. Yeah.
she was probably their most evil villain to date, because every villain they've had so far had a kind of a redemption possibility. They didn't get redeemed, but they could have, and you understood why they did it. Even Zuko, what's his name? Was Zuko? You know what I'm talking about. The one who found the Winter Soldier and said all the words to him.
Oh, Zemo.
Zemo.
Yeah.
Even Zemo had a reason.
Yeah.
She's just out here being just evil.
Right.
And I like the
Joker.
chaotic evil that she had. Yeah.
She's our Joker. She just wants to watch the world burn.
Yes. Yes. She's our Joker. I like that. See, Kyle, here you go.
Too bad he wasn't here for that one.
Right.
And she was definitely very strong and like a very, I don't know, I can't think of the word. My brain's got COVID. A very like formidable,
Yes.
foe.
She could hold her own.
Because
Yeah.
wherever it was in the movie when I think it was when Elektra and Blade and all them found out that Deadpool and them had escaped. They were like, "You escaped? You got
Right.
out? Nobody gets away from Cassandra Nova."
Mhm.
So she was definitely a formidable.
And she could walk. I mean, because you tip Charles out that chair, he's done.
So basic.
Oh God. Oh God. That's so bad.
It happened in every episode of X-Men.
Oh my God.
You just push him over like a freaking turtle. Yeah. He's just on the
As
ground.
powerful as his mind is, you think he could like set up an automated routine to
Back
make his
into the
leg
chair.
work? Like for real? Come on, Charles. The hell.
Blame the writers.
I know. But the other thing that I was to kind of piggyback on that, Teresa, was look at how quickly he killed Johnny Storm.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking and talking and talking, and now he's dead.
Right.
That was brutal. Johnny ain't have to go out like that.
I know that was rude.
It was rude.
Basically just yanked dude's whole flesh off his body.
That was wild. The murders in the show were
Oh my God.
like I need the writers to sit down with somebody and talk this out, because some of the like, how did you think it is? Why was that something you wanted to see on screen? Like, wow.
Maybe it's all the things they wish they could have done to the people who've wronged them in the past, and
That's
to
what I'm
have
saying.
that
Like,
cathartic purge, put it on screen.
Yeah.
people
But
that
it's a
wrong
good
me,
thing.
I want to like kick them in the balls or like maybe shoot them. But they're like, I'm going to peel the flesh off your bones and then just watch your eyeballs roll away. What's wrong with you?
Let's be glad
Dark
that they were
places.
able to resist and put it in the movie, because I watch ID serial killer documentaries. Those people don't resist. They just go ahead and flip people inside out,
Never turn your back on Teresa.
Right? So the thing I found most hilarious about Johnny's death scene, if you will, is the fact that after he's dead, immediately after he dies, Wolverine points out, you just got this kid killed. And Deadpool's response is, he was eating into the budget. And I'm thinking to myself,
He did.
okay, so Chris Evans was eating into the budget, but the special effects for his death had to cost a pretty penny. Like, what the fuck are you talking about here?
But you know what? I would bet, as far as cast members go, he probably was the most expensive member of that cast.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking that. But again, the special effects for his death scene had to cost something.
Nah, I mean, that was like maybe.
But remember,
100
Disney
grand.
owns ILM.
I mean,
Right.
Sure.
So there's probably an in-house cost, but again, like when I used to work for IBM, and IBM would say it either costs green dollars, which is real money, or blue dollars, which was in-house money. And if it was in-house money, they didn't just go completely outrageous with it, but it was much easier to justify things when you were spending in-house money. And I bet that's what Disney and ILM do. Is yeah, we need you to do such and such and such. And, all right, come on, let's go.
Anyone notice that we start off with Deadpool's birthday party?
Yep.
And how basically that entire cast is only present for that scene and the closing scene of the film and nowhere else.
Yeah, because we don't need them. Although I do like Blind Al.
Blind Al is a treasure, and by all means, we need to protect Leslie Uggams and keep her around for as long as possible because she is freaking hilarious.
I saw somebody cosplay Blind Al at Dragon and Cassandra Nova too. You're right. I did see her. Teresa.
I had no idea there were so many nicknames for cocaine until I saw this movie. I had no clue.
I want to say things, but I don't want to say things on camera. We'll talk about this offline later.
and I know it was because there was something I was reading where like a lot of those were actual conversations that Ryan Reynolds had with Favreau about what can I say this? Can I say this? And from the article that I read, some of them Favreau was like, no. I don't even know what the hell that is, but no, you can't say it.
Now that I know that that's what that means, no, you can't say it.
Oh, it was great.
But not only is Leslie Uggams hilarious and a national treasure, look, I was looking at her skin. The woman is beautiful.
She is beautiful.
And she's, not to put her age out there, I know she's like close to 80.
I think she's in her 80s. I think, but I don't know. All I know is she's gorgeous.
But yeah, I look forward to seeing her in every Deadpool film because 81 years old. But yeah, she is awesome. And talk about killing a role in 3 films with limited screen time in all of them. Because it's not like she's a character most remembered in all 3 of these films, regardless of what she does. But to have limited screen time in all 3 movies and still stand out as one of the most memorable characters in this series, you know, aside from the title character. But yeah, just amazing.
You know what else I like about this movie? Speaking of like that memorable role, a lot of characters in this movie say some like straight up ridiculous, offensive, denigrating things to and about each other. But because of the nature of the characters and the show, you just let it roll off. Because like I know I heard Deadpool say some like really like vision impaired, offensive things, but he's talking to Blind Al, whatever. And then
Blind Al.
Yeah, you suspend offense. You suspend being offended to enjoy the movie, but you can't do that with everything. But yeah, just like you suspend belief, timelines, relevance, retconning, canon, you suspend everything. You just come in here to just listen to the dialogue, watch the fight scenes, and have a good time. And that is the height of entertainment, which is why it's made so much money so quickly. This is a great movie.
Absolutely.
If you were to rank all of the MCU movies, it's easily top 10.
Top 5.
It might be top 5.
I'm putting it top 5.
It's easily top 5 for me. Easily top 5. Because the writing alone sets us apart from most other MCU films. And just, if we're just going straight off writing, I put this up there with Black Panther and the 4 films the Russos wrote: Civil War, Winter Soldier, Endgame, and Infinity War. Like, because those 4 films, that by writing standards alone, those 4 movies that the Russos wrote are easily the best 4 movies of the entirety of the MCU.
Who wrote the first Avengers movie?
Whedon. Joss Whedon.
Really?
Yeah, that was Joss Whedon. What was it? No, I know he directed it. I'm sorry, he directed. I'm not sure he wrote it.
I don't know if it's nostalgia or not, but the first Avengers movie is always in my top 5, just because there were some scenes that I think that stand out that cannot be replaced.
Right.
That I always.
Right. I'm sorry. It was you're right, James. It was Joss Whedon and Zach Penn.
Yeah. And I hate saying Joss Whedon's name because
I know. Like when you said that, I was like,
and notice the hesitation because I knew who it was. Kind of was like, I don't want to say his name, but he did.
No, we get it. We get it.
Because he also did Ultron, and that was his last film in the MCU.
I would have a Kyle moment. I like Ultron. I like the Age of Ultron. I don't even care about the movie. I'm a James Spader
fan. Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
But yeah, because there was, and we know how problematic he is. Because he tweeted a sequence that happened in Age of Ultron when he took over to finish and basically redo Justice League. And if you remember in Age of Ultron, it's where Black Widow grabs Banner over, like, they leap over the bar, and he lands on top of her.
Mm-hmm.
And he reprises that in Justice League, where the members of the Justice League are fighting a resurrected Superman, and Flash falls on Wonder Woman. Well, Gal Gadot didn't want to do that scene. She thought it was demeaning and demoralizing, and she refused to do it. So they had to get a stunt double to do the scene for Ezra Miller to fall on her.
It didn't make any sense in the Justice League because
was no purpose. It didn't make any sense in Agent Ultron. Like, why are you focusing so hard on this? Like, why?
Well, there was a budding romance between.
Even still, there's other ways. We got that through their conversation at the bar.
Right.
I would also throw out not just the budding romance, but in a pure protective sense, Banner could take a lot more punishment than Black Widow could take.
But he was trying not to hurt.
He landed on her.
But no. But that's what I'm saying. Because if stuff is, again, I'm thinking just from a pure, I'm trying to protect the person who I'm on a team with. If I can take more punishment, in my mind, again, remove his problematic behavior. But just from a pure protection standpoint, it makes more sense for him to end up on top. Whereas you flip it, and in Justice League, it would make more sense for Wonder Woman to end up on top. Just from a pure protection.
Either way, it's dumb.
We're talking about this way too long.
I know.
Yes, fair. That's fair.
So yeah, again, writing standpoint, the 4 films the Russos did easily tops of the MCU.
Yeah, the writing in this movie is
and the writing is just as good. Because again, it's not so much just the story and everything, it's the deep cuts we talk about. It's the things in the scenes, like when Deadpool and Wolverine are sent to the void by the TVA idiot. I can't remember his name, but he's just going to be TVA idiot because his whole plan was stupid. All the stuff that they show there on the ground, like there's an original Captain America shield, there's the original Thor helmet from comics that we never even saw in the MCU. There's Sentinel body parts laying around, an old shield carrier in the background as well. What was trying to remember what the statue was, that Statue of Liberty supposed to be like an homage to like Planet of the Apes or something like that. So like so much stuff just before we even see Deadpool Wolverine in the void, just the scenery itself is just crazy with Easter eggs.
Yeah.
So kudos to them for doing a good job with all the deep cuts. Like I said, even the dialogue where Elektra pretty much makes a quip about, I'm not upset about Daredevil being dead, stuff like that.
Yeah, one of the things though that stood out to me that I was a little sad about was Cassandra's base of operations.
Ant-Man.
It was her base of operations is Ant-Man's dead body.
Yep.
I was like, damn.
That bothered me too because I'm one of the few people who likes Ant-Man. I adore Paul Rudd.
Well, that was Ant-Man did start off as a thief, and hypothetically, in all the universes, there had to be a problematic one. So that wasn't a good Ant-Man that died.
Well, if you think about it, the Ant-Man in the comics is very problematic because he's an alcoholic.
You talking about Hank Pym?
Yeah, Hank. Yeah, well, yeah, Hank Pym.
We're not talking about Hank Pym. We don't talk about Hank Pym.
Well, I'm confirming Joy's assertion that he's problematic.
Maybe it was a Hank Pym Ant-Man that she was living in.
There you go.
That's what we're going with.
That I'd be okay with.
I will accept that.
Yeah. That Ant-Man is very problematic.
Even though Deadpool did say, "Wow, Paul Rudd sure did let himself go."
Yeah.
He finally aged. And I just want to say that even I would put this Deadpool and Wolverine in the top 5 MCU movies, and I don't like Deadpool because he's super, super, super annoying. But because, like you said, with the writing and just the cast and just it was just full of wow moments, I would definitely still put it up there. Ryan Reynolds is annoying to me. So yeah. But I would
just think he went from being Green Lantern.
We don't do that here. Again, we don't do that here. We don't do that
up in the last movie.
Right.
Never happened. I don't know what timeline you in, sir, but you need to get on the right one.
We need to go ahead and prune that one.
Yes. we pruned that a long time ago. TVA took care of that nonsense. But no, go ahead, Furious.
No. I'm just saying it's just the whatever the team was that made that piece of crap, and then the team that made this marvelous piece of cinematic excellence. I think is just amazing. The shift from one to the other.
Yeah, and dare I say, like with Deadpool, he's found his niche, right? Because he's been in a lot of, comedic or just straight up rom-com films before the superhero, jaunts that he's been on. Yeah. And, they're probably not the most well-received films, but you can tell that he contributed more than just his acting chops in those movies because his personality bleeds into each character.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it from a financial standpoint. Look at what Deadpool has probably done for his family versus everything
else before. Yes, absolutely. So, final thoughts before we wrap it up.
I could do this all day.
He wasn't in this movie.
Wasn't he though? No, but yeah. Yeah, I this is a franchise that I can see because it's already campy, tongue-in-cheek, break the fourth wall. There's really it's a recipe for like churning them out. I don't want to see a Deadpool movie every year. Right. I like the gaps. I wouldn't mind seeing another one in 2 or 3 years though. So I'm here for it,
One Deadpool movie per phase.
Yes, one per phase.
One per phase.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I definitely want to see more. I know production crews have to change because once we finish with this movie, if I'm a writer, I've got to already have something else lined up to be working on because I got a family to feed. But I hope whenever they get ready for the next Deadpool movie, they can keep the core production team together because these guys, people, they are on it. And I want the next Deadpool movie to be even better. So that core cast, I need them to stick together for the next movie. Like I said, I know they got to go do other projects, but somebody needs to just shoot up a flare when it's time to make the next movie. Just throw the hat into the air, and everybody can see it.
Right.
The chimichanga signal.
Right, but keep that core together because they are definitely an amazing group of people.
Teresa?
Oh, I'm sorry. I feel terrible.
It's all right.
I'm hanging on by a thread over here.
All right, we'll get out of here
What was
quickly.
the question?
I was saying final thoughts about the film, but I do want to actually end with these two questions for everybody.
Okay.
What character do you want to see in the next Deadpool film? And then what MCU property would you be surprised or would like to see Deadpool show up in that's coming up soon or in the future?
I don't know about the next Deadpool movie, but I want to see Channing Tatum as what's his name?
Gambit.
Thank you. And gosh, there was some. I want to see Henry Cavill as somebody in the MCU.
Fair.
You know, it doesn't have to be Cavalrine, but as long as it's somebody, and preferably a good guy, because I hate when they bring my favorite people in and make them bad guys. It's just, that gives me inner turmoil.
Henry Cavill as a bad guy.
I don't want that.
No, because the bad guys are never shirtless.
There you go.
That's not true. Killmonger was shirtless.
He wasn't necessarily a bad guy.
Yeah, he was misunderstood.
He was
Killmonger was the bad guy.
People.
Killmonger was the villain.
Killmonger was right.
Killmonger was the villain.
He got Wakanda to change their entire approach. He even helped Shuri when he came back around. Oh
my gosh!
Wasn't Thanos shirtless? Did we get to see all that purpleness?
No, there were no purple nurples.
No purple nurples. Okay.
no purple nurples.
I think he had sleeveless shirt.
Yeah, he had like a sleeveless vest on or whatever under his armor.
Okay. And Josh Brolin does not have to play everybody in the superhero universe.
He's only played
that is
two.
My final thought.
No, sorry. He's only played 3 characters. He's played Cable, Thanos, and Jonah Hex. That's it. That's all he's played.
That's all. Only 3 people.
Only 3 people.
Well, RDJ trying to catch him.
Well, this is true, but I don't like that either. So
I don't like. We've already discussed. We don't like that.
I would like to see Josh Brolin come back as Cable.
Okay.
Yeah. Reprising, I will accept.
Especially considering he's going to be. Who did he just sign up to be in the DC franchise?
Wasn't that still a rumor?
Is he? I think he's. Did he sign on for Green Lantern?
Oh God,
that was the rumor one.
I thought that they didn't finally get confirmed.
Not to my knowledge. I could be late.
Okay. Well, I'll say it this way: if it's been confirmed that he is going to be in Green Lantern, I would love to see him come back as Cable in the next movie because the jokes are going to write themselves. The jokes are going to write themselves.
Yeah, because it's Cable, he plays it very straight, hard-nosed, no nonsense. So,
if it's not confirmed,
he was just offered the role.
Okay, but it is Green Lantern.
Yes, he was offered the role of Hal Jordan.
Okay. Then I honestly would like to see. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing. I'll go to the other side. I want to see Deadpool show up in. I wouldn't mind. I want to see Deadpool show up in the retconned Venom series because Teresa, I know you don't read comics, but in the comics they retconned it, and the reason Venom, the symbiote, is crazy is because in the retcon, the very first person he bonds with is Deadpool,
which would explain a lot.
And Deadpool screws up his mind.
I can see that.
So that's what I would love to see is
a retcon pass of the symbiote, but Deadpool.
Yep. That's what I want to see.
Oh gosh, Joy.
I would like to see Deadpool. First off, I would like them to go ahead and flesh out literally that Cavalrine movie. Let me have that.
Emphasis on the flesh.
Impetus on the flesh. Yes. We can just start all the way over with him in the tank. Just start there.
That
That would be
works.
the first 10 minutes of the movie, just him floating with a little jock strap on. It'd be great. I am absolutely objectifying that man. He doesn't deserve that. But you know what? Life ain't fair. So a lot of things thought. I don't give. That's what I want. Fuck Deadpool, Wolverine, Henry Cavill. That's what I want to see. When they reboot, when they bring all the X-Men in, I want them to bring Henry Cavill in as Wolverine. That would be great. I don't want him to play something else, because if they give him something else, I'll never get Wolverine, and I'm gonna be mad that they've teased me with this now. But the other thing I would like to see, for as far as another Deadpool movie, bring back Dogpool. I like the little ugly dog.
Peggy, she's adorable.
I want to see Dogpool interacting with the cats from the Marvels.
Oh, the Flirkins.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, those Flirkins would destroy him.
I just want to see him like trying to hit on them or something, or like just randomly hump one of them. Just that seems like something he would do.
Oh my gosh,
he is a Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
True.
As far as people showing up in another Deadpool film, I would like to see a proper Psylocke, because we haven't gotten one.
Mm.
And I wouldn't mind Tom Holland's Spider-Man showing up in a Deadpool.
Yes,
because the two of them bouncing off each other. If you've
God.
never read Deadpool Spider-Man comic storylines, and trust me, 9 times out of 10 they are just one-offs of Deadpool popping in just to screw up with whatever Spider-Man, not Peter Parker, but literally Spider-Man, whatever it is he's doing, screw it up. That's something I wouldn't be opposed to.
That would make my head explode.
You would not be able to handle it, Teresa.
No, I would not.
As far as Deadpool showing up, I know it hasn't happened because I'm pretty sure they're in post-production and the movie slated for later next year. I would love to see Deadpool at some point pop up in the middle of the Thunderbolts. For no reason. Just think about the current cast of the Thunderbolts, and remember who's in there. You got Red Guardian, Yelena Belova, Taskmaster, U.S. Agent,
Winter Soldier.
I want Deadpool to punch U.S. Agent in the face.
Thank you.
And you think of all those people, because they're basically just variations of super soldiers, all of them. That's basically all the characters they put in there. Every single one of them, some variant of a super soldier. And then just throw Deadpool in there for like 5 minutes of total chaos. I look, I know it's a pipe dream. I'm probably asking for too much. Like I said, they should be in post-production right now, because I remember earlier this year, who is it? Pugh, the actress name, her last name is Pugh. She plays Yelena Belova. Florence Pugh, thank you. She posted a video on IG when she was walking onto set and basically had to turn her phone off as she was entering the studio set, but you can hear noise of them filming a scene coming out as she's like, hey, so I'm here on set, and she's purposely filming from the neck up so you can't see her costume until she gets to the door, and then you see her in her version of the Black Widow costume. And yeah, so I would definitely love to see that craziness, because all of them have had some interaction with Deadpool at one point or another, and
good point.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, Taskmaster never wants to fight him either.
It's too unpredictable. There's nothing he can lay down. So yeah, that's all I got.
All right. This has been fun. This is great.
Absolutely. So we thank you all for joining us this evening for our recap of Deadpool and Wolverine. We will see you all later. I won't say exactly when, because I won't put specific dates out there, but I do know our next show will be about House of Dragons. So stay tuned, all of you Game of Thrones fans, for our next What You Watching series, where we will cover seasons 1 and 2.
Yes.
Okay, yes, both seasons of House of Dragon. Until then, be safe, take care of each other, and we'll see you next time. Say goodnight, everyone.
Good night.
Forever.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then. When they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves the Republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.
So if you put Hawaii in a perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course, versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course, cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom, clapped back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.